So we are finally getting into the most hyped trailer from the E3 2018 bunch that we got, the Pirates of the Caribbean trailer or the Volume 3 trailer, whichever one you want to call it. This world looks absolutely fucking phenomenal. And in this analysis, we're going to focus more so on the gameplay elements rather than the story elements. Of course, the story elements come from the film, but there are a couple things that I will talk about from certain cutscenes, more so towards the beginning. And then, of course, the rest of it will be gameplay, and we'll end it off there. As, of course, Tetsuya Nomura has already elaborated on a lot of cutscenes. He's already elaborated on a lot of stuff. So there's no reason for me to actually elaborate on it in this analysis. I do have a lot of videos if you're new to the channel talking about some of the stuff from the cutscenes, so you can go and check those out. Of course, I'll give you the playlist to all of my Kingdom Hearts 3 videos in the description below if you want to go check out all of those, of course, cutscene videos. But today we're actually going to be hopping into the gameplay. There's a lot of secrets, a lot of hints and stuff of how gameplay will work, with Tetsuya Nomura stating that the Pirates of the Caribbean world actually does go from the sky to the land to the sea. So pretty much there's a 3-layer world in this one world, so holy shit. But let me go ahead and get right into it. I hope you guys enjoy this, and this is my Pirates of the Caribbean analysis. At 8 seconds, we start things off with a close-up of Sora's headband. This is something I wanted to pause and speak on because in later moments of the trailer, we can see the headband turns from blue to red, indicating when Sora is using power form. At 28 seconds, we see the Pearl sailing through a desert. This is actually a scene in Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. And of course, if Square are 100% faithful to the source material, there should be little interesting white crabs carrying this thing. We do get to see a crab in the possession of Tia Dalma, so I'm sure we'll see them if, of course, they try and keep to what the story says, and obviously not pull something like Sora use his Keyblade or his power to get the ship to move, as of course Jack was stuck in the desert with his ship earlier in the film, and obviously this is a representation of that. At 49 seconds, we jump into a ship battle and see some changes to our HUD. Let's give them a quick look. In our buttons, we see cannon, surge, water wall, and then cancel. For situation commands, we see 2 bars with a traditional command called tidal wave and a bar that doesn't display information to us until Sora fills the meter and it becomes wind chasers, and a final one called raging cannons. Moving to the bottom right, we see our health bar and speed gauge with a wheel for indication to the player that this is the ship's health, not Sora's. At the top right, we see a whopping 11 stock of health for our enemies. Now, this is worrisome as the Pearl has 1 fucking stock, but apparently this indicates the growth on the enemy ships. There will be at least 3, and they share all 11 stock from what I can see. At 54 seconds, we see once Sora has removed all growth from a ship, he can hop onto said ship and clear it of Heartless. Now that we're in a combat situation, take a look at the color of Sora's headband and clothes. Pretty cool, right? Now let's talk about enemies before we talk about this new Keyblade transformation. In the Japanese version of the trailer, we can see the Heartless a bit better, so let's transition. Now, taking a slower look at these guys, I see and predict them to be appropriated screwdrivers from Atlantica in Kingdom Hearts 1, with a new red enemy that holds a blade and an anchor that could be an appropriated pirate also from Kingdom Hearts 1. We can definitely see it's an emblem Heartless with the emblem on its hat, so maybe it's a Captain Pirate Heartless, a new variant of the pirates. We also see that it swings the anchor overhead for its attack. At 57 seconds, let's talk about the 2 Keyblade transformations that we see. The first one being High Wind and the second being Storm Flag. One thing I want to take note of is that these forms both appear to be power forms, indicated by the red coloration of Sora's bandana. Speaking on the animations, we see High Wind starts with 3 pokes, which feels very familiar to what we assume to be one of his combo mods that we see in this trailer and earlier trailers, in which he does at minimum 3 pokes. So maybe that's the mod that comes from this Keyblade. After the animation is complete, we see Sora sporting a harpoon with the previous ship wheel now sporting a compass on its center. During his attacks, this compass flies off and rains down similar to what we see from Zaldin in Kingdom Hearts 2. Next is Storm Flag, in which we see the harpoons tip enlarge, and it now sports a flag, and it spins around, causing, of course, multiple hits from the spins, as of course it connects with the enemies. So that's pretty much as basic as it gets for Storm Flag, which is kind of sad because every other second transformation seemed like it had like this huge level of depth to it when it comes. Well, not a huge level of depth, but it seems like the whole thing about the Keyblade changes. But with this, is just like, oh, now you can just stab them, and of course the flag spins as well. So it kind of feels a little bit off from compared to like other second forms of Keyblades. At 105, we see Sora heading up a cliff taking on some Power Wilds, the monkeys from Kingdom Hearts 1. See why I think the previous Heartless on the ship are from Kingdom Hearts 1 now? Once Sora picks his target, we can see him do what appears to be aerial sweep from KH2. In the Japanese version, he does his combo we've seen prior, although I will say it does look a lot more snappy, so it does look like it does actually move a little bit faster, as of course he doesn't take forever to get to both swings. It's literally like a 1-2 type of situation there. Now, at 109, get ready to dive, niggas, because we going in. So right after Sora breaks the water, you see it, right? The focus / drive gauge went away. It's completely negated while Sora is diving. Underwater, we see Sora facing these electric eel emblem Heartless, and that's pretty much it. The jellyfish don't appear to be enemies, but actual aquatic life, like the dolphin in Atlantica. Hidden in the blue hue, we can see a shipwreck with an entry hole, so maybe there's a chest with a recipe down in there. Nomura did say exploration of this world will focus on land, sea, and air, and that we'll be treasure hunting here a little bit. A cool thing to note about Sora's combos underwater is there's a new 360 hit, and Sora sends off a little Getsuga Tencho, so definitely taking something from Ichigo there. But closing out our time underwater, we see Sora swim to the surface. If you replay it and of course look at it with a lot more attention, you can see that the trailer actually cuts as Sora appears to come up to the surface. When he's ascending, he comes up to the surface, and as he breaks the water, we see that of course he appears to be in an entirely new area, as of course there's a landmass that's apparently right in front of him in one portion of it, and then in the next portion he's just like far as fuck away from any kind of land, period. So definitely it does seem like this does take place in two different areas. Maybe of course Sora is closer to that main island that we see when he's fighting the boss, which we're going to talk about next. But of course it does seem like he was somewhere closer to land before he actually breaks out of the water and gets into the boss fight, which we're going to get into next. At 114, we are thrown into a boss battle, and we can see the Black Pearl and a damage meter has been added to the top left of our HUD. So naturally, we should assume this boss fight takes place prior or after the conversation with Luxord, as we saw him raising his arms in the snippet from the train station in Japan, similar to how all Heartless have been summoned in the series, especially in Dream Drop Distance. This is exactly how young Xehanort would summon all of course, the Nightmares bosses. If he summoned a boss, he would pretty much lift his arms into the air and then the boss would come out. When he appears, we can also see that he had his own ship once again, and Sora has apparently jumped ship to face this new Heartless on his own. Now let's talk about the battle itself. Sora can get on the back of one of these hornet bat looking Heartless and ride them using flow chain or athletic flow. This is the flow motion type that uses focus gauge. Speaking of course focus gauge, there's a new shot lock attack called Spiral Theory. How do I know this is an attack? Because the attack has always been on top of flow chain these past couple of years. Once boarded, we have another 4 options. This is burst shot, torpedoes, air dodge, and to simply get off. Once Sora has gotten on the Heartless, we'll start this scramble, releasing smoke in various colors. Oh, and there's some birds in the background that simply don't give a fuck. That's just like, yo, let's just go somewhere else, dog. They're making too much noise for me. Can we leave? But let's get back to the analysis. As we can see, the smoke the Heartless gives off may have something to do with Sora's torpedoes, as we do see this lock on has been zoomed in on the big Heartless. Maybe this is actually an air fight and they're popping smoke to divert the attack from the torpedoes. Essentially, an air naval submarine battle, or simply just an air fight, like as if these were actually planes. When we see the big Heartless fire these harpoons at Sora, we do get to see the dodge option, and we also do get to see that these harpoons do actually have traction, furthering that idea that this could be some kind of in-air naval submarine battle. Once Sora hops on this enemy's back, we see the option attack, barrier, and somersault, which is the spinning action you see Sora doing as, of course, he summons the barrier. This thing has 1 stock of health. I mean, this thing has 17 stock of health. So what the fuck is Square? What are you doing? Why does this thing have 17 fucking? There has never been anything in this series that has had 17 stocks of health. Never. There has never has there been something with a straight 17 stock of health. Not even the lingering will. So what the fuck are they doing? Especially when it comes to how much damage Sora can put out. Of course, this is going to be very tedious. If this isn't for the trailer, this is going to be very fucking tedious. After quite a few attacks, we see Sora fall into the smoke screens to use flow motion. A miscellaneous thing to note, keen eyes will see what appears to be yellow spots on the water, which look like eyes of Heartless, but they're actually gunshots. So don't worry, there isn't like fucking 30 enemies plus the big fucking Heartless boss that you have to worry about. It's actually just essentially, of course, the shots that these things can fire off. I'm guessing it's the little ones that are shooting this, and of course the big Heartless shoots like the harpoon things, and then of course it also has some kind of cannonballs or something like that it can also shoot as well, if it doesn't also have torpedoes. So don't worry, those aren't enemies, because when I first saw that shit, I was like, holy fuck, we're gonna have to fight like 30 motherfuckers while fighting this big ass thing that has 17 fucking stock. Square Enix, you are fucking up. Why is there so many enemies plus this big ass motherfucker? And then this nigga got like 17 health, so we don't have to worry about that. That's it for the analysis, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed bringing it to you guys. It was pretty cool to look into this trailer and honestly finally see like a true boss fight from, of course, the game. Like, you know, we saw the Toy Story boss fight, but this is an actual boss fight that we get to actually see like the many layers of the fight. So in which, of course, Sora will have to come from the water to, of course, getting on one of these things and then making his way all the way to the Heartless, and then of course getting up to the Heartless and then attacking it, and then of course potentially starting all over again as the Heartless potentially spins over and Sora falls down onto those smoke screens that he can then ride on flow motion and go wherever the hell he was going, which may be a way for him to get right back up there potentially if you're able to get a hold of it. As we do see, like, the skirmish isn't actually as clear cut as we saw in the English trailer. If you look at the Japanese trailer, sometimes they will actually zigzag and actually create different formations for you to try and actually land on, I guess, to actually get right back up there and attack again. So it does seem like there will be a lot of fun ways to play it. Hopefully we do get to see like Keyblade. Will Keyblade transformations happen? I don't know, because the focus gauge when he dives actually isn't a part of, like, you know, his arsenal. It goes away. It completely goes away. So who knows? But this is me, your boy Amaziah. I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to do a little A-class game, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-class. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and peace the heck